Hey. What's going on, everyone? We are live on a Saturday. I know, kind of weird, different day, but same old stuff that we talk about. So, um, we're gonna try and do a giveaway. I said I needed 26 people in the chat, so I do appreciate everyone's support for coming through.
Try and do a giveaway.
We are. Hold on. Let me turn that off. We are at 667 subscribers. We are no longer at the devil's number, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? It's all good, man. It's just gonna be me and my good friend here, Pickles. But yeah, we got plans today. Okay, or tomorrow, or yesterday. I can't remember. What day is it? Never mind.
I don't know. I lose track during the week.
No, seriously.
During the work week, they're like, "Oh, did you do this?" Like, wait, what day is it? I don't
know. Dude, Mayor's game yesterday. Lots of Filipinos.
Yeah, there's a couple guys I work with are Filipino, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a lot of Filipinos at the ballpark."
What the hell? They didn't even know.
Well, it's Filipino night.
they did not know.
No, they did. Like, I think it was they were just posting it saying, like, ironically, like, there's a lot there.
Dude, there's so many people, like, maybe they didn't know it was Filipino night.
There's like what's happening?
They were like watching the game and like, dude, I mean, you know how my family is, man. Like, and they were like getting pissed because we were so like I was really loud, but like this one guy, dude. So one of my wife's or Isela's coworkers came, and she came late, and I was like, her name's oh my gosh, I just forgot her name. Anyway, so she comes out and I go, cheers, like whatever, and it was like during like a part of the game, and this guy like he did one of these.
He's like, what's happening behind me?
Because like 20 people were like, yeah. And he was so mad. And so, you know, like, dude, you know me, like when I see someone irritated, I just like I want to irritate them even more. So
like, does this bug you?
Yeah, dude. So I just kept fucking with it. It's pretty fun. Good times. I'm like tired, dude, because we got home at like midnight, like 12:30, and I usually get up pretty early, you know, but like, man, I'm kind of tired today.
Yeah, I couldn't. I didn't go to bed till like 2 a.m. Like, for whatever reason, I didn't get tired until then. Well, I mean, I don't get home from work until 11:40-ish or so usually.
Yeah.
And then by the time I shower, change, and sit down to like unwind, it's after midnight. And so
yeah,
I watched like the newest episode of The Boys, and then
did you finish Black Matter?
Yeah.
Did you think?
I think it started off strong and finished kind of weak.
Like a Donny Cates series.
Yeah, like it was really good up to a point, and then it was like, oh, that's how you're gonna end it? I'm like, okay. Like, granted, I know that they're like it's off of a book, so I can't really fault unless they're gonna do a new season. I don't know.
I hope they don't.
Like, it was good for like a while, and then it just kind of got weird. It was like an interesting concept, like a cool little sci-fi twist to a drama show, and
I dug it. I thought it was cool. You know, whatever.
It was good enough to finish. I didn't stop all the way through. Yeah, like I had to drag. Like, what did I watch? The new, because I had like 2 episodes of The Acolyte that I hadn't watched. I think I stopped at 3. And I was like, let's just see what this is about, because they were like, they finally revealed who the freaking like Sith Master was and this and that, and I'm like, all right, let's watch it and see what happened.
The lightsabers, like everyone talks about the lightsaber, like the fights were pretty cool, and I agree, but he didn't really do anything for me.
I do think that the moniker that he has acquired very fits him. Smilo Ren.
Smilo Ren?
Because his mask is that fucking twisted smile.
Oh. See, I miss the days when, like, there was no mask being taken off. Like, Darth Vader never had a mask off. Boba Fett didn't have his mask
until the end, and then you found out. You're like, oh, he's an old crusty white guy under there?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He's like, it's like all of a sudden, like,
it's like
James Earl Jones' voice is gone, and it's just he's like, Anakin. Or like he's like Luke. You're like, wait, what? That's not what you sound like with that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like they were probably like, I was like, did the Sith like hear your voice? And we're like, yo, we got to do something about that. Like, give him a fucking voice.
They had like a council.
Yeah. Palpatine's like, you know what? He doesn't sound evil enough.
Yeah,
like, let's throw a spin on his voice.
Yeah. But we got 5 lives so far. I guess people don't like Saturday mornings. That's all good.
It's a curveball.
It's a curveball. Let's say what's up to the chat. What's up, Cody? Thanks for coming through. Soupy, Arizona must be hot as fuck right now. DJ Y is also in Arizona. Thanks for coming through as well. And Mojo Quid, what's up, man? Good to see you. So today's list is, I've been going really heavy on Marvel and DC, like the big two, and Spawn. I think I've been going really hard on those 3 different subjects. And so I was trying to find just kind of off the radar, everyone gives into FOMO. Yes to FOMO is what we like to say here. And I kind of want to go off of like some off the cup type of like, just ones that maybe we haven't thought of in the past or haven't really honed in on in the past or whatever. So I hope this list is pretty good. It's pretty short. It's like 10 books. And I'm sure a lot of the heavy ones in the beginning, but I went a little off brand on the lower or the last half of the books here. I do want to give a shout out to our lovely supporters. All of you guys are amazing. We got nominated for 2 awards on the CBCA awards. So shout out to the CBCA awards peeps, and good luck to everyone who has been nominated. I think it's like for me, it's like, it's cool to be nominated, but it's like to win is like, it's not really like a big deal. But we got nominated last year for 1 award, and this year we got nominated for 2, which is pretty cool. Pickles, if we win,
coming up in the world.
Yeah. Pickles, if we win 1 award, what do you think we should do? Like, what do you think?
I don't know. We could do a giveaway, live show.
No, that'd be cool.
We'll fly to New York and visit Fedora.
We'll just fly to New York just because we got an award. Like, yeah.
I was like, what up? Like, party New York, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, we got nominated for like the Sunday show or Saturday show. And then I've been doing these market reports lately. I'm sure everyone in the chat, you've been watching them, but let's see here. I'll try and share. But I've been doing a lot of these like video game ones too. So the green ones are video game ones, and I know obviously everyone comes to our show for comic books, but like there is good comic book content in there as well if you take the time to look at them. But yeah, the last one we got a lot of views on this guy. Excuse me. And this one actually did pretty well too. I was kind of just amazed, 148 views on that. But no, they're really cool to do. I think it's a nice thing to look at the market on top of the other show, that our regular weekend show and all that. But yeah, if you guys could hit that like button, which it looks like you all did, all 7. We got 7 likes on the show today so far. And without further ado, let's get into this. I did not share this. Oh, I did share this with Pickles earlier today. So
I was able to kind of glance through it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's all good, man. There's no homework required in this show.
But
I hope you guys. What'd you say?
Yes.
yes.
Oh, by the way, did you see that Batman Caped Crusader preview or the new trailer?
Is that a video game?
No, it's the new. So same dudes who did Batman the animated series are like reviving it on Amazon, but it's going to be Batman and Caped Crusader. Like the art is very similar to it. I don't know. I feel like they're just reviving shit from my childhood now because it's like they did the same with X-Men '97, and it was a big hit with people. So now they're like, hey, you know what? Batman the animated series, probably one of the biggest animated shows throughout the '90s, I guess.
Yeah, that was ranked top 100, I think. I want to say Wizards, like number 2 of all time.
Yeah, I would put it up there with
Simpsons?
Ninja Turtles. Like that and Ninja Turtles were probably the 2 biggest animated shows throughout the 90s, I would say.
Simpsons? Number 1?
Oh, yeah. Well, when did they come in? Was that early 90s? Was that early or late 80s? I can't remember.
Something like that.
South Park didn't come on until
like late 90s?
Latter 90s, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know about that, man. I'll have to. You said it's on Amazon?
Yeah, it starts in August. They just released the trailer for it though.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out. All right, well, let's get into it. It's just me and Pickles today. Fedora has to work on Sundays, and oh my God, Darth Lopez just couldn't make it. He had a prior obligation. So, first book is Redneck #1. This is a Donny Cates lovable series. It's about vampires, and I feel like every 10 years it goes like werewolves, zombies, back to vampires. Vampires get hot. And so I was thinking of kind of under, I would say under the radar, like show or comics, but like just vampire type series that have come out in the past like 10 years or so. And Redneck is the one extremely different type of vampire story that I think is very unique. It's about like Texas vampires. It's it takes original lore and then kind of does like a little twist on it. And it was Donny Cates. Like, actually, this is how I found out about Donny Cates. It's really cheap. There's about 7 different issues for the first issue. The third print's like, I think 7,000 copies like printed. But there's a gold version and a silver foil version that go for around 20 to 30 bucks. I don't know if this will ever again. Oh, Simpsons was started in December 1989. Thanks, Hello Wiki, and good to see you. I don't know if this will ever get optioned because it ended, but it didn't really end. Donny Cates just stopped writing. So there's a little bit of that kind of going on with it. But I think this is like when I read it, it reads a lot like a show, like a TV show. Pickles, have you ever read this book before?
No, but when I saw it on the list, I looked it up because I was like, "What is this? Is this like vampire Southerners? Like, what's happening right now?"
That's basically exactly what it is. It's like a family of vampires that have been vampires for like ever, and they kind of have like a pretty good relationship with like the law enforcement of the town, and shit goes wrong, and then like the whole family just anyway. It's really
we're good with you being vampires as long as you guys help out regular people. Or I mean, as long as you help out regular people with the bad people.
Exactly. It kind of like it's actually kind of like that.
I wonder if that's how they based fucking Dexter off of something similar to that, or if it's kind of if he took inspiration from Dexter being like a serial killer who only kills bad guys. Well, obviously that kind of goes sideways here and there throughout the show, but you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that might be right, dude. But I think he'd like this story. If anything, if it doesn't get optioned, I mean, I think it's a good story to pick up. I had the full run. I really liked it. And the lore is like what's really cool about this book. But yeah, dude, I think you'd like this book for sure.
Is it like a 5 or 6 book series, something like that?
It's like 30.
Oh, 30, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, like 5 or 6 book series? It's like 30.
It's like 72. Well, the thing is, dude, like he stopped writing it. So there's not, I don't know if we'll ever end it or like what, but yeah, it kind of sucks, dude. Anyway.
You should Instagram them and be like, yo, dude, you ever gonna finish this?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kylo
Ren. Oh, anyway, sorry. But yeah, so Redneck. This is kind of my deep spec, but like great read. Great read for the week. So I'm sure you can find this in back issue bins. I don't know if there's like a trade paperback or compendium, but pretty cool.
Omnibus.
I'm sure everyone knows about this book, Star Wars 42, but I know there's been a lot of hate with Star Wars. I mean, we just talked about the Acolyte just a little bit ago. And I'll just say this about the Acolyte, like, do your thing. I don't really care. I don't really, and I said this last time. I just don't really enjoy the show for whatever reason. And there's a lot of really good content. And so like, I'm going to be picky, but like, it doesn't ruin Star Wars for me. If anything, Star Wars was ruined when they came out with the third trilogy for me. Because I thought it was just too safe. Like there was nothing new. And it was still a good movie. I mean, I think people would appreciate the movie, but like for me, when Emperor Palpatine's resurrected body is the big baddie in a show, I was like, dude, that's so lazy. I don't know. So for me, I've always taken Star Wars with like a grain of salt, you know, like I don't go into it invested, which is I'm protecting myself. But I feel like this book, obviously, like the show came out, the show wasn't very great. It popped to like 3K back in the pandemic. So let's not talk about the pandemic days, but I saw 9.8 for the direct edition go for $800. And yeah, I know. I've never seen it either. Yeah. But
who's that guy in green? He looks weird.
I don't know. He's kind of like fat. But and I saw that sale a while back. So let me just see if I can find another sale for Star Wars 42.
Star Wars books I feel like fluctuate or at least they're the older ones, not the newer ones, but the older ones I see fluctuate in price and sales like all over the place. It's like crazy. I don't know, and it's not like there's a ton of them, but it's just kind of hit and miss what you can get them for.
No, I think you're right, man. Like, well, what the hell? It's like people either don't want to get rid of them, or they're like, I don't want to, yeah, or I do want to get rid of them. It's really weird. I don't get it. Come on. So this 9.8 newsstand went for $14.20. I think in this economy, I probably wouldn't pay that much. $13.70 though. I mean, like I feel like that's, the newsstand was going for 3K like post pandemic. So it might be a nice buying opportunity to like, yeah, this is the 9.8 one for $8.35. Like, I'm not mad at that. I mean, like Boba Fett's still a beloved character, regardless of like the show. And I feel like just over time, it's just gonna stay at that level. So like, I feel like there's a real floor at this price point. What do you think, man? I know you're not a huge Star Wars fan, but like just from like a comic collector standpoint, what do you think?
Oh yeah, like I mean, for just collecting purposes.
Oh shit! What the hell?
Retaining value at some point. Old Star Wars keys are always good to keep hold of, just because there's always going to be those people out there that latch onto these characters, and like these are like marquee characters that we're talking about with like Boba Fett and the original trilogy people. So anytime you can get your hands on first appearances of those, they're always good to kind of keep hold on, because they will hold their value. Like they'll if they dip, they don't dip super far. It's not like, I don't know, the difference between like that first Null like cover where it was like boom, it was like way up there, $600, $700, $800, and then now it's kind of down like a lot. Like, whereas this might fluctuate a couple $100, but it ain't gonna lose value all that much.
Yeah, like $800. I mean, I feel like that's like what Soloki kind of said. If you can find them while they're down, buy them. Star Wars has always gone up and down, and I gotta think of like, hey, what's up, you boy? Long time no see. Good to see you, man. I've been seeing this dude all over like every show like I pop into. And
I know, I saw you guys in it. It was funny. I was like,
oh yeah,
I was at work and I saw that Spec Media. And so I popped in there and I saw Fedora was in the chat and I was like, oh, what's up? And then I saw your ass pop in. And I'm like, oh shit, like everybody's in here.
the whole game. We like took over the chat. That's kind of funny. No, but man, I mean, I think it's like, I think, so for me, when I think about Star Wars collecting, I always think of the toys first. Because that is like, those are what's always going to hold value as far as toys are concerned. That's, to me, that's the holy grail of toys, is Star Wars toys. Comics, because there's more of an influx of people reading comic books and they're a little bit more attainable versus like a toy, I think are another great investment for Star Wars stuff. But you have to get the older Star Wars comics. Do not invest in fucking Star Wars High Republic #1. It's overprinted. No one gives a shit. It was a stupid story. This is like the safest Star Wars story to invest into, is the earlier stuff. Unless you have like, and there's Darth Revan, there's like those books, but like, I feel those are really like an investment. They're just good stories, in my opinion. But yeah, I thought this was like a great buy. $800 for the 9.8 of, of a very well-known character. And you got Dengar and Bosk on the front too. So now Invincible is coming out with season 3. Season 2 came out, and I didn't watch it. I haven't had time to watch the newest Invincible, but this is like a show that I really like enjoy watching. And it's Afra Spec Dead to me. Pause real quick. I don't take this from me because like I just never understood the Afro spec in general, but she's never been really alive, and I've talked about flipping the book personally, so that's kind of how I feel about it. But like that's just me. I've read Afro books, and I don't really get I get the potential of her, but I don't get the $1,300 to $1,000 potential. And I may be totally wrong. I mean, you can record this and be like, "Oh, Ferd said da da da," but like, I just don't feel like it is. Asajj Ventures for sure, and Darth Maul. Yeah, I like those two. High Republic for me is just we kind of have an inside joke about it, I guess, right, Pickles? It being the easiest spec of all time. High Republic.
High Republic. Throwing darts.
Yeah. Throwing darts. There's too many damn
Fedora
characters in High Republic. Huh? What'd you say?
I said throwing darts, as Fedora would say.
Yeah, throwing darts. Yeah.
Like you throw
yeah, back to this Invincible book. There's a ton of first appearances in this book. The Invincible series in general is just low print anyway. The number and I thought of the second book just because number one's so expensive. A 9.6 one for $300. So if you kind of compare Invincible 1, which also has a ton of, it's the first book, so like you got that. I mean, Invincible's in the first he's in the first appearance, but like there's a lot of major characters that are also in this book. I feel like if you get a 9.6 to 9.8 and hold on to it for quite some time, you're probably going to double your money if Invincible keeps going on its run, which I feel like it's going to go on for a few seasons. I'm not banking on live action for right now. I just feel like that might be too expensive for Amazon to invest in. But dude, have you ever read Invincible or like any of are you into this at all? Or are you kind of late to the game?
The show, I've watched the first season, but I haven't gotten a chance to watch the second season. The books, I have not read any of them. This was actually, I was out working in Moses Lake, I think, at the time when this came out. And a dude that knew I was into comic books had asked if I had watched this show yet and said I needed to watch it. And I was like, oh, what is it? He's like, oh, like comic book, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of right when I was getting back into collecting again. So, and it was obviously being an Image book, I didn't really, not that I didn't read Image, it was just kind of like it wasn't readily available, especially like out there.
Yeah, for sure. I got the compendium from Jessica and Manio, Isalla's cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. They bought me the compendium for my birthday, so I've been reading it. Isalla's like, wait, are you gonna read that? I go, yeah. She's like, oh, I thought you were gonna grade it. I go, what? How would I grade that? I mean, no, I'm gonna read it. She's like, that's weird. I was like, you're rude. So
that's weird.
Yeah,
what? Weird that I'm reading a book.
I don't like her anymore. Anyway, on the next one, we're about 23 minutes live into the show. I was gonna do a giveaway if we got 26 live, and we're only at 7, so that's okay. What?
Oh, sorry, go.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say this. Like while I was looking at this, I was like, these books, like the lower as you go up in number, as far as like the books, where like this one here, how the price drops off reminds me of The Boys too. Like how number 1, like which has like the first appearance of Butcher and Huey and stuff like that, goes for quite a bit. But if you hop down 2 books to number 3, you can get like the first appearance of Homelander and like a lot of the big characters from the show for relatively cheap.
Yeah, and that Homelander book is very underrated. Like they're talking about it on a few other shows. I think Mr. Longshore pointed out too. That's a very underrated book, and I think people like really like Homelander as a villain because he's just so diabolical.
Oh, that this season, not to give anything away to people, but he's fucking going off the rails, man.
I watched I think I got done with 2 episodes, and yeah, dude, he's like going crazy. It's actually pretty good. Some people were like talking shit about the show. I was like, God, what do you guys need to like make yourself happy about life?
I mean, it's out of all the seasons, it's not my favorite. I'll say that. Like I like 2 and 3 a lot better than this one, but it's not like I'm not like, oh, this is terrible. It's like the last episode that I just watched was kind of like a weird episode, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. Like,
and I can't tell if they're like on purposely trying to make Homelander's kid like do you watch this season at all?
I've watched 2 episodes so far.
Oh, okay. I can't tell if they like purposely try to give him like a squeak in his voice. If they're like, "Hey, you're going through puberty, like go like this every once in a while when you're talking." But like the newest episode, it was like fucking painfully clear. I was just like, "What is wrong with his voice, dude?" I'm like, is he trying to do that, or is like the actor? Yeah, I'm just like, is the actor himself going through puberty? Like, what's going on here? Because it sounds like they're like dubbing his voice to make it high.
Oh my god, that's annoying.
Like he sounds like. Did you ever watch that movie? I Love You, Man, with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel.
Yeah.
Remember the guy that he tries to set him up where his brother, like tries to set him up with that guy that's a trainer at the gym. And he's like, "Give it all you got." And he's trying to like do that.
I don't remember.
Like, 99? No,
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's like yelling. He's like, "Come on, give it all you got!" And he like talks with this high voice. That's what that fucking kid reminds me of.
Fuck that kid. Yeah. Fuck them kids.
Smack that kid. Be like, oh,
smack that kid.
Homelander.
All right. Anyway, Invincible 2, still pretty high end. Like I try to probably get like a 9.6 and get it, maybe CPR it, but like if you get 9.6 again, like cool. Sorry, I'm pressing a book right now, and I thought I left the next, Sonic the Last. What'd you say?
It's like burning all of a sudden. Like
I know, dude. That's like my worst fear ever. Burn down my house pressing a book.
Bitch.
So this Sonic the Hedgehog, the last issue from the Archie Comics run. I actually had this and I returned it. The guy said it was near mint, and it was definitely not near mint. He sent it in a very bad way, but he was cool about it. Took it back. I was kind of bummed, man. I was like, oh man, I really want like a nice copy of this comic book. I would say Sonic is like, I found a new kind of inkling with him, and the property is very like lucrative. Like there's multiple shows, there's shadows coming out. I actually got a copy of a Sonic 98, which I'm going to send over to CGC. Very happy about that. And I feel like this is a great cover. There's multiple covers for this last issue. I think there's a lot of long-term potential with Sonic, just because kids today love Sonic now. And I also think there's potential with the movie, like the Blu-rays, the steelbooks. But I think if you get this for like $75 to $100 in near mint, a 9.4 went for $201. I mean, that's pretty good for a comic nowadays. So I think there's a market for this. Perhaps people are just trying to get rid of because I've seen it go for so low. Pickles, what are your thoughts on the Sonic 98 or Sonic last issue?
Yeah, no, I like the cover. Is that, I can't remember the name of that character. Is it like Mecha Sonic or something like that?
I think you're right.
But yeah, no, I like this book. Like you said, obviously 98 is the one that you want to get. I actually just looked online for one last night, and there's like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like 5.560 copies and stuff like that. I'm like, that's fine, but it's just kind of beat up.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like how those books, like those Sonic 90 or
but they still want like $300 for them, for like 50 and shit. I'm like, no, I'm not paying $250 for a book that's like, I'm not even gonna appreciate looking at. Like, I get it if it's a 6.0 and the cover is like pristine and shit, but it's like, I'm not trying to stare at a book that's like got 1,000 like color breaking tick marks down the side and like,
yeah, from like 1990 whatever, that's just weird to me.
It'll just bug me. Not that it's like a bad thing, it's just like me personally, my eyes would just constantly pick that apart.
Yeah, I would hate it. Yeah, I mean, there, like, I just looked at the eBay sales for this book, and like there's some pretty nice copies out there that sold for, I mean, one sold for, let's see, one sold for $86. I mean, if you get a 9.4 out of that, I mean, you're doubling your money. So that's pretty good. I really got to dive into like the IDW retailer incentives and those kind of books, because I feel like there's some potential in those. But for now, I'm going the old school Archie run, just because like I feel there's a little bit more nostalgia with that. Kind of like how Star Wars, like the original run, you want to go with that right now today. But yeah, nonetheless, Sonic the last issue. Let's get into the next one. Before I get into the next one, we're about a half hour into the show. Again, I just want to thank everyone for watching us live. We're about 20 away live from doing a giveaway, so I don't think we'll do a giveaway this week. Yeah, again, we're doing today's a Saturday, so if you're catching the rewind, hopefully, hit that like button, give us some support, and thanks for watching the show. What were you gonna say, Pickles?
About what?
I would start talking, then I thought you were about to say something.
If I was, it's gone now.
It's gone.
Yeah. Then like that, he's gone.
Greatest line ever.
Like, I fucking love that movie, but now with like all the shit against Kevin Spacey, I'm just like, I look at it differently now.
I know.
Yeah. But I remember watching that movie when it first came out. Like, I rented that on VHS. And fucking watched that. I remember it was like one of the first movies in a long time that I'd rented and watched multiple times. It was like I was so like that into it. By the end of it, I was just like, oh my god! When they like wrapped it up and everything came together, I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. And then like, I'm glad they never redid that movie or like did a sequel. You know, you potentially could do a sequel, right? Like the origin of Kaiser Soze, right? But like, dude, you remember? I don't know if you ever did this, but like, people started, or my sister's friends would make reservations under Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody freaking like says anything.
I don't know. It's always like Chinese restaurants, so it's like
Kaiser Soze.
Kaiser Soze. I should watch that movie again. G.I. Joe 151 through 155. The reason I thought about these books is kind of, again, like my theory of properties are doing now that are like either relaunched or revamped, and looking at the original content or like series or like rare books of those series. I feel like there's you can find some pretty good deals on these G.I. Joe later issues. And like, obviously you all know the kind of thought process with these issues was they were near the end of the run of G.I. Joe, which is 155, and they're just lower print run. Out of all the covers, though, of these later print run G.I. Joe books, this issue of 151 is absolutely my favorite. I think there's just so much going on the cover of it. It's something to do with Snake Eyes, like inside the guts, but like, how beautiful is this cover, man? Have you ever been like a later issue like searcher of G.I. Joe books?
No, I don't think I have any G.I. Joe books. I used to have G.I. Joe #1 in a newsstand, but I sold that.
You never like hunted for the later issues though?
I have looked for and at a couple copies of the last issue. But not later issues. No.
Yeah. The last issue was doing pretty well for like quite some time, and then like people were just asking too much for like of it in Raw, and then it got the 9/8 snobbery report. I feel like, but I feel like this one's the one to get. These hold value. A near mint for a newsie went for this one went for $59 the other day. I just think it presents really well, and the newsie had like 9/8 potential too. So I don't know, man. I think this is I think these GI, because of the Energon universe doing so well. Have you read any of the Energon universe books?
I have not. No.
Everyone is like Apple TV, like good. Like they're all written very well. It's like all the writers got together and said, okay, this is kind of like the blanket idea of the whole universe, but put your own stamp on it and write Duke, write Scarlet, write Cobra Commander, write Destro in your own kind of version, but kind of have it make sense to they all like kind of come together. I think it's just they're doing such a good job with it. What's up, Spec Media? Yeah. Richie in the house. What's going on? I actually nominated you guys for a CBCA award. I meant to message you in easy, but yeah, I nominated you guys. They do great content. Everyone in the chat I know follows Spec Media, and they do good stuff every week, and we love them. But yeah, man, I think
I was talking shit to you in their chat the other night.
That's right, motherfucker. Oh, I remember that. I'm coming over. Just kidding. I'm not. I'm scared. Anyway, yeah. So I think this is like, I've always just been enamored with these later issues, but I feel like just with the Energon universe kind of getting hot started and like just good old comic book content, I think this has some potential for sure. What do you think of this cover, dude?
I think this is the reason why you like that Carnage cover so much. Silver Surfer Carnage cover.
Oh, why?
I don't know. It just gives me vibes of that for some reason.
Oh, it kind of does, man. I don't know. It's tight. GI Joe is like a dying franchise amongst like kids because no kid knows what GI Joe is. But man, I love GI Joe is like my first love. Everyone, I know people love Transformers, but like, dude, this was like my favorite. Like, I was first GI Joe, then Transformers, personally. So
yeah, well, I remember we were at my buddy's cabin one time, and we were talking about GI Joe because he was talking about how he had introduced his son to the old cartoons, and like he was really into them when they were watching them. And like these other three guys that were with us, that were like younger than us by a good bit, they just worked with my buddy, and he invited them. They were like talking in the conversation too, but then they I just remember they like trailed off and were having their own conversation while me and him were like really getting into our GI Joe conversation. The next thing I know, I turned around and they like I heard them saying something, and I like kind of stopped my buddy and was like just pointed at him, and we'd like listen to what they were saying. I'm like, my buddy's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? He's like, oh, Pokemon. we're just like, God damn it. I'm like, how the hell did you go from GI Joe to like your own conversation in Pokemon?
How do you go from GI Joe to fucking Pokemon, motherfucker? Yeah.
It's like you went from shooting lasers to that was always funny. Their guns.
They like bounce off the ground in front of the person and like somehow go through like a shoulder and never hit them.
Blue and red.
Do you think if they ever, Cody, I'm curious if you think this too. Do you think if they ever did a GI Joe cartoon series, like they would actually like people would actually get hurt,
like die? They did it in anime.
Or just get shot. You know what?
It was anime, yeah.
Yeah.
It was anime. You'd just see a dude just get completely obliterated, like a hail of gunfire. If they killed like a main character, it'd be like death by firing squad. Like run in the wrong room, and it's like, and then like a ninja would come to it, slice his head off.
Yeah. Shit. All right, cool. That's funny. Next book. You kind of see where the pattern I'm going here, right? Beavis and Butthead's coming back to shows. I know this book is like super easy to find for a pretty low price. I've seen this go for like $5 to $10. I've seen it in newsstand, all this stuff. Everyone playing the shootout. Yeah, that was funny too, man. If you curious shooting going super slow, like the robots, the AI, all that shit, they miss every single fucking. Oh, anyway. Oh, by the way, if you guys are not reading the Energon universe, which shout out to Commander Cody for putting me on that. Dude, you guys have to watch that show. It's really good. Or read the book, the whole Energon universe. It's like it's now taken over 2/3 of my subscription at the comic book store. Shout out to Arcane Comics, the best store in Shoreline. Anyway, but so here's I don't know if I talked about this on shows in the past, but did you know that our buddy Cooper's wife wrote episode 3 of the new Beavis and Butthead show?
Which the
new
first
one
season?
The new one coming out.
For which one? So I always get confused with Beavis and Butthead because are you talking about the one that's coming out on Cartoon or Comedy Central coming up in July, or the new season that'll be coming out on Paramount?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Okay.
She wrote
they release, so they're like advertising all over Comedy Central right now. They're like, Beavis and Butthead, the new season, blah blah blah, is coming out, and then you see the previews for it. And I'm like, oh, that's the season I just watched like a year ago on Paramount Plus. What are you talking about? So, because they've done 2 seasons on Paramount, they've only put 1 on Comedy Central, but they're all under the same umbrella. So it's like it goes from one to the other now. Weird. So that Cartoon or Comedy Central can get their money too, like having it on like live TV. But they present it as new because it's new to the people who don't have Paramount.
Sure, that makes sense. So you're
probably it's kind of like they do that on CBS too. Like I see that like a lot of Taylor Sheridan's shows, like the Yellowstone universe and all those, like they'll release them. Tulsa King's the new one that they're going to be releasing on CBS, but like as a regular show and just do an episode a week or whatever.
So thank you for clarifying that because I'm
Mhm.
not sure, but I'm
Okay.
assuming because
Like,
they just talked about it like recently. It's the new season that no one has seen
okay, so
coming out.
it'll be the season 3 that'll be coming out later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Because I was going to say I've already seen the if it was definitely the newest one of the first 2 seasons, I've seen it because
no,
I've
no, I
watched them all.
her on that. But yeah, she wrote one of the seasons, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, and I, I thought this because my nephew was talking about how he thought Beavis and Butthead was funny, and I was like, man, that's interesting. And so I think this cover's great. I think getting a newsstand would be really cool. There's a animation variant, which is a magazine, which I think is the first appearance of them on in print. Um, Hope you guys are enjoying that magazine first appearance Excel spreadsheet I've been sharing. But if you're not on the Discord, let me know and I'll get you a copy of that. I put 17 new first appearances in magazines that I didn't know of prior to the inception of that. But I think, yeah, I think there's some potential with this. Nights are going cheap for like $100, and there's more. Obviously, like they're making money on this property, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it anymore. So, I think there's potential here again. Um, getting a good copy of this. I think it would be a good idea on the low just for long term. And I think this is always going to hold nostalgia for not just us, but I think for future generations as well. So,
Well,
uh,
and they like it's funny too because like looking back on it now, I wouldn't have thought it when I was younger watching the show, but these are like perfect characters to like just drop into any time period. Like you could continue these
yes.
characters 15 years down the road and just drop them in the same as they are, but
Mhm.
like just update the stuff around. Like, cause like that's what they kind of did with the newer show. It's like they had a whole episode where they were at the mall and thought they were trying on virtual reality glasses, like the friggin'
Uh-huh.
like Oculus Rift and stuff like that, but they just put on regular sunglasses.
Yeah.
And we're like walking around thinking that they were in like a video game, and then they just proceeded to get like destroyed. And they're like, how we need to start over? And they're like, how do you start over? Like, we got to die. And so they go out and try to get hit by cars in the parking lot and stuff to die, but they're just wearing sunglasses the whole time. So it's like they're just two characters that are so dumb that you can just drop them into whatever's happening in society now and just have them go at it.
So it's on Paramount, you said?
Yeah, so it streams on Paramount, and then the Comedy Central releases it
God, they're
like
so
later.
stupid. They're
Yeah,
so incredibly stupid.
that's where that slip and slide thing that I sent you, where you're like, what the hell? Where it's like Beavis going on that slip and slide into the wall.
I didn't get it. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
get
they
it.
had an
Damn it.
episode where they made their own slip and slide, and he like slides and smashes head first into the wall, and like goes unconscious, and Butthead thinks he's dead, so he just leaves him outside in the sun, and he gets hella sunburnt. And when he wakes up, he comes in, and Butthead just keeps like smacking his sunburn, and finally Beavis attacks him for it.
They're so stupid. What's up, Darth Lopez? Hope you're having a good time with the family, man. We'll see you next week, man. So yeah, Beavis and Butthead. We should just do
Great.
like we should do reviews of Beavis and Butthead. Like,
Well, because I remember the first episode of them coming back was an escape room episode, and they got locked. They got trapped in the bathroom. Not trapped in the
yeah, yeah,
bathroom,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
but like they walked in, and because the door pushed open, they tried to push it to get out and thought they were locked in.
Dude,
So
were they trying to like hook up with some chicks too or some shit?
yeah, it was like two girls that wanted. Well, they were outside putting milk cartons in the street and letting cars run over them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the girls needed a group of 4 to like go in, so they went and they saw those two, brought them in, and then we're gonna go ahead if you ladies like pay and blah blah blah. And they like went down, and it's like left and right, and it's like escape room, bathroom, and they like go into the bathroom. They're like and go into the bathroom, and then they're like in there waiting, and they're like, these chicks are so stupid they couldn't even find the escape room. But they're just in the bathroom.
Just so fucking
It's like so stupid, but it's so funny.
I know, dude.
And now instead of music videos, they make fun of like YouTube, like how-to videos and stuff
That's
like
even
that.
better. Oh no, I don't know. I love the I remember my
They'll
favorite
do some
memory.
music videos here and there, but like sometimes it's just like they watched a video on how to make your own prison tattoo ink and stuff like that. It's just like, what?
Dude, my favorite memory of my childhood of Beavis and Butthead is when like they see like Nelson go on and they're like, oh yeah, Oh yeah, those chicks are hot. Every time they're chicks.
I always like that one where they like cut their hair off and glued it to their face to make beards.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn, we're smooth.
Darth Lopez, I actually had that on a different show, like, and yeah, Paw Patrol, first appearance, $300 on the old school show. We wish to do next Tuesday. SpongeBob. I was sort of a SpongeBob fan growing up, but I feel like this is like Gen Z's like version of stupidity that they appreciate. The reason why I want to highlight this book, and it may not be as much as like a on the down run because it's kind of a hard book to get, honestly. But this is like when I think of memes, a lot come from SpongeBob, and I just think it has that. Okay, like if something has a meme, or if someone's made it to a meme, I mean that is like pop culture phenomenon. And I think memes are something that's going to hold nostalgia for just people in general for a very long time. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of memes come from SpongeBob's universe. I want to real quick take a look at the market though, because I took a little small look at it, but I didn't have a lot of time to really look. So let's see here.
I always tell people that like SpongeBob to me is like Gen Z's
Ren and Stimpy.
More, yeah, it's like a more structured, like more sitcom-y, I guess, cartoon than Ren and Stimpy, but along the same lines. Because like Ren and Stimpy was like nuts. I mean, they were fucking rubber nipple salesmen and like powdered toast man, and they'd be like biting boils off of people's foots and stuff and squirting just nasty stuff everywhere. Like it was just a gnarly show, but it was like funny. And that's what SpongeBob reminded me of, just not more kiddish and more structured. Yeah. It wasn't all over the place with their stuff.
Because some parents did not like their kids watching Ren and Stimpy, I feel like. And SpongeBob has more characters in it, right? There's a lot more. Yeah, Darth Lopez, $300 for that Paw Patrol first appearance. I know. It's crazy. But dude, like for investment purposes, that's strong for a SpongeBob comic, I think. And it's going to hold value, in my opinion. Like, this is going to hold a lot more value than My Little Pony 14.
Well, especially because all those guys are alive, and if you can do something like that where you get it signed by the voice actors.
They're not alive?
No, I said they're all still alive.
Oh, I think you said they were unalived.
Yes. We will unalive them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I just think for 352, I'm not mad at that. Like that's for a modern comic from 2011. I think that's good. Yeah, I love it. Cool. And I bet that's super hard to find high grade because what adult was buying SpongeBob comic books, which I don't even know what the publisher is, but anyway.
Nickelodeon probably.
Space Jam. All right. So these go for pretty cheap, honestly. And here's my thought process. I saw a post the other day talking about, the whole Jordan versus LeBron stuff, right? Ugh. I feel and whatever, man.
LeBron's ruining my Lakers, man. God damn. Now he's going to opt out of his contract, I saw today, and they're going to re-sign him for a stupid, like 160-something million for 3 years.
So he can play with his other son?
Yeah, fucking goddamn it.
Well,
I didn't even want Bronny in the first place. They drafted a player they could have got at the end of the draft for free. Like, there's no way he was getting drafted at like 3 points averaged a game in college. Come on, man. He couldn't even play for UConn, let alone the friggin' Lakers.
I mean, I think it's crazy, dude. Is like he had a heart condition too. I mean, like,
That's what they're saying. They're saying that like because LeBron's potential and development as he came along, like his shot got better, his ability to get better. They're hoping that his son has the same potential because they what's it called? They're hoping that he has the same potential because the Lakers are banking on being able to develop him like they did with like Caruso and a couple other guys that they kind of brought up that weren't necessarily big names in the draft. So that's what they're kind of hoping. I'm like, I don't know, man. I was I just think they put too much pressure on a kid to come in and perform, and I don't think he's gonna make it more than 4 years and he'll be done playing basketball.
Or he like, I mean, it's just scary. Like, I don't know his medicals, but like the fucking kid collapsed, man. Like, hopefully it was just like too much Red Bull or something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like you think about the kid's health, whatever. Different subject.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's whatever. I don't really care either way. I think I would say this though. The positive spin about this is like it is kind of cool that I mean, that's probably every father's dream, right? Is to play
Yeah.
their
Like I'm not
professional.
hating on them wanting
Yeah,
to play together. I'm just like,
but as a Laker fan,
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't really be too stoked about it because I think people just don't like LeBron anyway as a Laker player
They're
because
like,
of
it's a
like,
throwaway pick at 55. I'm like, it's your second round pick. In what world is a second round
yeah, I
pick
don't know if
a
I
garbage
don't think
pick?
any pick is a throwaway pick
Like,
anymore. Yeah, yeah. Uh, any GM that says it's a throwaway pick should be fired. So anyway, but yeah, so kind of what I was thinking of is like, okay, if you think about the GOAT, right? The argument between Jordan and LeBron, and like to be on the fair side, everyone remembers who they like saw dunk a ball and they were like, no one could ever do that. I'll always remember in the finals between the Lakers and Jordan when he went up with the right and went with the left and like precision. The camera angle was perfect. They didn't slow mo. The reactions by the players were just insane. But I remember that was like the first time I ever saw, no, sorry, second time I ever saw a play in slow motion. The first was a Christian Laettner lob in the Elite Eight, but that's a different deal. But to me, like that is what made me into a Jordan fan. Was watching the finals, thinking that Lakers are going to win, but here comes this amazing shooting guard named Michael Jordan, right? I didn't really have that with LeBron. I think because he just moves so much to like different teams, and I just wasn't like my kind of like how I don't really like the Acolyte. It's just not really my product, or like doesn't really like speak to me.
mm-hmm.
But again, I was thinking of like collectability, right? So if you ask, I think a lot of people who's more collectible, is it Jordan or is it LeBron? I think people are just gonna go with Jordan. I mean, no one's standing 2 hours in line for LeBron James sneakers to this day. I went to Filipino night and like half the fucking females there had Jordan 3s and they were clean. Anyway, I didn't see any LeBron. I saw more Griffey shoes, and I saw more Jordan shoes, and I saw Griffey shoes at a Mariner game, Mariner baseball game. Mariners are only baseball. What am I talking about? So point I'm trying to make here is I feel like anything Jordan that's a comic book, and this is the one that just came out at me. It's gonna have the nostalgia. It's gonna have the safe kind of investment with Jordan on the cover. Even his basketball cards from this era that were heavily printed and PSA 10 go for hundreds of dollars. And that's the only card that goes for good money. And he doesn't really do anything. He just kind of lives. He dunks at like 50 years old and stuff like that. I saw some copies of this book go for like 10 to 15 bucks. And I know Baker, Michael, it's only one day. We had to golf tomorrow. So it's the only reason. I know, I apologize. I try to put it out there on Instagram that we're doing a show today. I added another comic book to the giveaway. I don't think we're going to get 26 today, but I'm going to add another book until we get 26. Hopefully we get there on Sunday. But yeah, I do apologize. It is a Saturday. Thanks for joining, man. And congrats on yours and AOA's nomination. I saw you guys got nominated for an award on CBCA award. So congrats to you guys. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Doug. And again, congrats. But yeah, this is my thought process of Space Jam. I'm just thinking of like just these different covers or properties that have just potential for a longer term and maybe a little lower buy-in. Pickles, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this, man?
You're not banking on the LeBron Space Jam? Did they not do a comic on that one?
I would never watch the LeBron Space Jam because I never watched the first Space Jam.
Yeah.
Am I horrible?
Oh, you didn't? I've seen the first Space Jam.
I never had the opportunity to do it.
It's good. I mean, I think it's on Disney Plus now.
I should probably watch it just for fun.
Disney Plus or one of them streaming things. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Would you get this comic?
Yeah. I mean, I
Pretty
wouldn't
cool,
pay like
right?
a crazy amount for it, but
Yeah.
if I saw it and it was in a bin or something like that, and they wanted like $5 to $10, I'd be like, yeah, I'll check it out.
Fuck yeah, right? It'd be like one of those like, oh sweet, kind of like things, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my thought process was here. I don't know how hard it is to get a high grade in this book, but I didn't see a ton of 9.8s. But I saw some 9.6s go for like $75, which I think is pretty healthy. So
It's still Jordan.
it's
It'll
still
work.
Jordan, man. And that's a great picture of Jordan on the cover of this book too. So
because I don't even like everybody's like the GOAT debate between him and LeBron. I'm like, Kobe. They always leave Kobe out. Jordan's my 1A, Kobe's my 1B, and then LeBron trails off.
let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about that. So why is Kobe your 1B and Jordan your 1A? Like, okay, sorry. Why? So I know that's really close, right? But obviously Jordan's your number one GOAT of all time. What why would you pick Jordan over Kobe?
I just think that mainly because Jordan, like Kobe was I don't want to say like a Jordan mimic or something like that, or like a duplicate, because he was almost like a carbon copy of Jordan, the way that he played the game, the way that he attacked it, the way that he learned, his mentality, his drive, his training habits, all that stuff, like very, very similar. And he modeled a lot. He even talked about how he modeled a lot of his games off of stuff that he watched Jordan do. Like it was like, how does he do that like turnaround jumper? Like how does he hit that fadeaway? Like what can I do watching and stuff like that? So he modeled a lot of his game after Jordan himself. So it's like in that regard, I can't put Kobe above Jordan because Jordan basically created the game that Kobe kind of rounded out and changed to move into a new generation. And it's like Kobe came in at the tail end of what I would consider to be a tougher era of NBA play versus like nowadays. It's like LeBron, it's just not the same. Like nobody plays any fucking defense anymore. It's all about scoring. Like you're getting crazy. It's like it's like 135 to 125 games and stuff like that. It's like, dude, I remember when it was like cracking 100 was like
hard.
You guys did good. And so it's just kind of, that's just the way I look at it. That, and it was like Kobe as a Lakers fan, like Kobe, I got to watch his whole career. So it's just kind of, he was just my guy, and I just kind of play wise, style wise, I would take him over LeBron.
Yeah. Here's like my always argument to anyone, because I think Jordan's the greatest athlete of all time, like any sport. Maybe not boxing.
Even above like Tiger?
Even above Tiger? Yeah, because I mean Tiger
or Gretzky.
Well, it was the argument, right, that Tiger's not the greatest golfer of all time. It's Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus, yeah.
Right.
I just think what Tiger did skill wise, though. Like I think his skill set's better than Jack Nicklaus was, as far as like. But granted, it's two different times. Like the clubs that Tiger used, stuff like that, way better than Nicklaus.
And just his fall, right? Like, I don't know. And golf's like different.
What's that? People still love Tiger though. That fucking.
Oh, I mean, like
anytime he plays, he's got the gallery.
Forever, I'll love Tiger. Like, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything he could do currently other than like murder somebody. That like I wouldn't hate him. But this is why I always say like my argument for Michael Jordan is the dude won 3, left the game because he was bored or for whatever reason.
He's like, I want to play baseball.
Came back 2 years later and then won another 3. I can't think of another athlete that left the game at his peak, came back, and then won more. And I don't like mentality wise, like I would say like my favorite basketball players, I'm kind of with you on that too. Like to me, Kobe is a better basketball player than LeBron. And I like his career wise, like I like his career better than LeBron's. And I just think like with LeBron, he just moved so many goddamn times. Like,
yeah,
he gave up on his teams.
Yeah, like, I think a lot of the mystique about LeBron went away when he kept like jumping teams to get championships.
It's just, and I know that's
you couldn't do it in Cleveland, so you went down to Miami and you like joined up with those two, and then got your championship, and then you went back to Cleveland, but it wasn't just there. It's like they had already gotten Kyrie and this and that, so it was like you were going back to a reestablished Cleveland team. And then it was kind of it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Versus like, Jordan was like, I'm here, I'm going to make the best of my situation. Not only he had Pippen, who was like the best partner in crime ever, but like he still built himself to get him to whatever. He didn't have like, he's always the marquee player on every team he was on. Anyway,
and it could be argued like with Kobe, it's like, well, you had Shaq and then you had Powell, and it's like, well, yeah, but still,
he was still the focal point in my opinion, and like, yeah, I mean, anyway, so. Well, every Gen Z person is going to hate this show because we talk about, and I would say this. To me, Steph is more of a icon than LeBron to me personally, because he changed the game more than LeBron did, in my opinion. No one was stepping on after the half court line shooting threes like Steph was.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just my opinion too.
It's just like for me, I don't know what it is, but for me, like anytime I think when they talk about stuff like that, all I get stuck on is LeBron being carried out with cramps in the finals. I'm like, come on, man, like word, like you get carried out.
Flu game.
Yeah, it's like I watched Kobe shoot 2 free throws with a torn Achilles, and your ass is getting carried out with cramps in the finals.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. You know what though? I will say this about LeBron: like, he's never been as far as like a role model of how you should be a sports person. Like, he's never, and I know it's like he's never been caught, or I don't know if he's ever done it, but he's never cheated on his wife. He's never done drugs. He's always like, he never got arrested for DUI. That's probably pretty tough, being like arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Like,
so
in the public eye, like anywhere you go, you probably got
all the scholarships he's given to like all those kids. Like, I mean, he does great work. So like, as far as like a human being, he's like a great person, I think.
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. Anyway,
that's how I am with that's how I am with Post Malone. People are like, you have Post Malone. I was like, all right, don't get me wrong. Like, I just don't like his music. I was like, you can't hate on the man as a person, because I was like, I've seen too many interviews. That dude is just fucking overly nice. Like, like
he's got a good voice. Hate him. Post Malone has a good voice. Like, artistically, he's a great artist.
Like, I'm just like, I just don't care for his like the style of music that he puts out. It's just not. It doesn't resonate with me. But I'm like, he's not. That's not. People always are like, oh, you hate Post Malone. I'm like, I don't hate him as a person. Like, he's impossible to hate as a person. Like, he's just so fucking nice. But
yeah. All right. Well, this is the last slide of the show today. Again, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us on a Saturday. We do apologize. We got golf game tomorrow, so won't be able to do a giveaway, but we'll come back on Sunday hard. I'm going to throw another key book onto the giveaway to get 26 live. I may make it 30 because I might put some good books on this giveaway next up. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with this museum editions of Top Cow. I think some other publishers did these museum editions, but essentially they're short print runs. Some of them are autographed, but this made me kind of think, because you know how Pickles was hitting me up the other week. He was like, hey, do you know how much it costs to get your autographs authenticated? And I was like, oh, it's actually not too bad. It's like 22. It's about the same cost of grading. So if you think about it, you buy a CO whatever autographed book, it costs you $22, which is actually cheaper than getting signature witnesses. It's actually a little bit cheaper. So I thought,
spend all the time of going and getting it in line, having to have awkward conversation with the person witnessing it.
Yeah, I know.
and then having them take it and be gone for like months and months and months. I remember when I did that for my Claremont signature.
Fuck that Claremont signature.
That thing was gone for like 4 months. I'm just like, God damn, dude.
Yeah, seriously. That was annoying. I remember you like texting me like, hey, you got your Claremont signature back? No, I haven't. You're like, God damn it. Yeah, it took forever. You could like, some of these books are signed, but I thought about this too. So who's the guy that like has been doing really well lately and he passed away? There's like a Netflix documentary about him. Chat, can you help me out on this one? Dave Stevens. Yeah, Dave Stevens kind of deal. I didn't even know about Dave Stevens until his books were coming up on top 10 lists. But like, what if Michael Turner has a Netflix show about him? We kind of talked about this in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, let me know. I'll shoot you a link to the Discord. I think it's right here. There is a Discord link. But I think Michael Turner like was arguably like my favorite artist other than Alex Ross when I was growing up. And if you're able to get these museum editions and they, I don't know, potentially do a Netflix like show about him, that could be the next Dave Stevens kind of flip. I pick up Fathom like later issues and Witchblade later issues with Michael Turner doing the art. I have an Ace edition that's signed by Michael Turner that I'm going to send in to JSA one of these days. It's kind of a long shot, but it's a fun idea to collect in itself. I put the museum editions here because they're just the kind of like the creme de la creme of art. But this is kind of just like a Michael Turner in general kind of spec, I guess. So I'm specking on Michael Turner Netflix show, essentially. Pickles, did you ever read any Michael Turner books back in the day, like Witchblade? Darkness?
I've not back in the day. I've read a couple since back in the day, but not when they were like first coming out and being published.
Gotcha. These were, I didn't say this all the time, but like Witchblade and Darkness were the first comic books I actually read. I didn't really read Marvel. I was a big Top Cow fan initially. Darkness. Have you read Darkness before?
I knew about Darkness and Witchblade. I knew about the video games before the book.
That's right.
So it was like it was ass backwards for me because I'm sure the books came out like a decade before the video games did.
Yeah, 95, 96, 94.
Yeah, which would make sense. I think like the games probably came out in the early 2000s or something, I think.
I wonder how much
it'd be a minute. I think they were like, I don't remember if I think they're Xbox 360 games is what they were.
Yeah, let's see.
I believe.
Xbox, you said? Xbox 360?
I think that's what I remember seeing it.
Dude, look at that. Chronicles of Riddick.
Riddick.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Huh. That's
the Darkness. The Darkness 2. So this first one might be an actual Xbox game. Oh, there's Darkness.
There's the Darkness Xbox 360. Huh. Yeah, I know it's a stretch, but like I just made me think of like the Dave Stevens stuff. I'm like, who would be the next Dave Stevens? And I feel like Michael Turner dying of cancer, which is horrible, man. And you know, I could see him. He's like, for me, he's on the Mount Rushmore of like my favorite artists like ever. So
yeah.
Anyway, well, that's our show today. Kind of a quicker show on a Saturday. I do apologize, everyone. Escape from Butcher's Bay's badass game for real. Okay, I got you. What's up, DZ? We just ended the show, but catch the rewind. I appreciate you, man. We didn't get to the 26 live attendees for the giveaway today.
We actually jumped up to 14. That's not bad for.
Hey man,
that's not bad for nobody.
All good. We're early.
So, yeah. Like Michael was just like, he's like, damn, like Saturday show. And it's like, oh well, I guess if nobody really knew, like we weren't doing too bad.
I tried my best. I just had stuff going on. But yeah, we're at 15. But yeah, if you guys didn't catch the whole show, like please catch the rewind. We're almost at 2,700 hours watched, which is insane because Pickles is a fucking idiot, and I wouldn't want to watch him for more than 2 hours.
Hey. You realize that I can throw a football like a handful of times and reach your house, right? That's how close we are. Actually, I would probably be fucking tired of shit by the time over there. I show up and be like,
Cody says, Pickles, join the Discord. We were talking so much shit about you the other day.
Shit about me on there?
Yeah.
What is there to talk shit about?
That's right. Oh, there's so much. You'd love it. You'd love it. Anyway, again, thanks everyone for your support. I'll throw another stack onto the giveaway. I'm gonna make it a big one. Not a big one, but I'll make it a pretty good one. It's up to like 7 books now, so I don't know. And then catch us next Tuesday. We're gonna try and do a nameless crew show. Got Maddie K, who's gonna join myself and Marcus and Vinny. We're talking everything not comic books on that show, and then I'll be doing a couple video game and comic book market reports for the 4th of July week. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Get out there, enjoy the sun, because we never get here in Washington. And we'll see you all next Sunday for sure. Bye-bye.